Hello and welcome back to the Halo Forge epidemic. This is Psychoduck, and I'm losing my voice here a little bit, guys, so bear with me. But I grabbed a couple of the THFE guys together today to kind of do a podcast and talk a little bit about the past on the channel, the present, future, moving into Halo the Master Chief Collection, looking back on Halo 4 a little bit. So today, joining me, we have Master Debaytes.
What's up, guys?
We have Mr. Pokephile.
Hello.
And we have special guest, Oakley HiDef.
I'll be back. I am back.
Yeah. So, basically, with Halo the Master Chief Collection coming out next week, we wanted to just, kind of think back about, what's gone on in the last 2 years with Halo 4, because a lot has happened. I think it's no surprise that, a lot of the community kind of fell apart, and it was kind of a struggle for a lot of different groups and channels. I think, we were able to pull through that, but it was kind of tough at times. Had to get some new people on board, like Master Debaytes and stuff. Saw some disappearing old faces, but we got Oakley here, so...
Yeah, we were talking in the chat before this how, I've been in the background. I've been checking in on the channel every once in a while, but it was just during that, I don't know, one period. I can't remember where it was in Halo 4's time frame, but just UC and I kind of made a whole stockpile of videos, and then we never got around to doing the next one, and then we kind of just stepped back and did our own thing. And we were talking about how it was really impressive how, Duck, you've been here for the longest now, I think. You may have overtaken me, but you've held things together, then, like you said, bringing in the new crew. And I was saying before the chat how this is the oasis in the desert of Halo, but it looks like we have a deluge of Halo content coming. So I'm back. I can feel the nourishment and all that shit. Metaphor is pretty extended at this point, but yeah, I can feel the storm coming in, and it looks like it's going to be pretty badass, to be honest, with all this new Halo stuff. And for someone who's been kind of tuned out of Halo and just is now turning back into everything, it kind of blows my mind to see everything we're going to be getting with the Master Chief Collection.
I think the question everybody is wondering is, are you going to be forging again in the Master Chief Collection?
I don't have an Xbox One, to be honest. And before I saw that Forge video that they released, I was like, no, I think I'm kind of done. But that Forge video honestly changed my mind. I may just be getting an Xbox One just to come back and do forging.
That's great news. I'm sure a lot of people are really excited.
Yeah, the second I saw that video, I grabbed a notepad and I just started drawing out maps and shit. It just looks awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we'll move into talking about that a little more later on in this podcast thing. But because that's amazing. But yeah, it's just been kind of an interesting transition here, because it's things have been really kind of slow for the last, honestly, year.
Yeah,
really.
I was about to say.
More than that.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first hit, at least in my opinion, was pretty soon into Halo 4's life cycle. I saw a dip in numbers around, I think, February after.
Yeah.
That's when there was a hit, but then it was still pretty good until about summer, and then once summer hit, the first summer, it dropped off, and then from there it was just snowballing.
Yeah, I remember I had just finished the huge ongoing conversion project that summer. And it was we had a lot of momentum behind it because we had put a ton of work into that. And it was, and it was pretty big. And then it was, I swear, the week we put that stuff out just coincided with the biggest drop in activity in the game. And it was just
Yep.
it was...
Oh, well.
You threw a party and no one came.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it's going to be a little bit different this time around, though, which is good.
Yeah. Halo 4, there are a lot of different reasons why it kind of, I don't want to say failed, but I don't think that's completely inaccurate.
Drew the attention away from the Halo series.
Yeah,
the best one.
Yeah, a lot of people left, but there's a lot of reasons to come back now. There's the nostalgia factor of all the, having all of our favorite Halo games, back in one place with, everyone, kind of all on equal footing, so everyone can play, whatever they want. But then also, I mean, you know, the new Forge. Looking forward to Halo 5. You know, there's just so much to come back to now. I don't think we're gonna see, you know, the same sort of failure that we saw during Halo 4. Because
this has been proven to work before. I mean, you're literally retaking old classics, but at least they're not just, you know, copy pasting. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
No, there's actually a lot to the project. I mean, all of the unified UI and all that stuff is really cool. I mean, Halo 2 Anniversary, that multiplayer component on its own is really cool, but then you add in this crazy Forge, and it's just like, you know, you can do anything. Yeah. And it's for a Halo sandbox that actually works, you know.
Right.
Like, you know, Halo 4.
So I mean, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I'm not like bashing on 343 or anything here. I'm just saying, you know, they took on this beloved franchise and, you know, made some poor decisions, but, you know, I mean, it was like, I wouldn't want to be put in that position. But, you know, I think they've learned so much.
Oh, for
and
sure.
it's really clear in what they're putting out with the Master Chief Collection, and you know, so it's,
and I mean, even looking back in Halo, you can kind of see or Halo 4, you can see the trajectory, you know, up and then pretty precipitous fall without a parachute. But there was that point in time when Halo 4 came out when it was pretty sick, when everyone was playing.
Oh, it was huge.
And I think looking back, the numbers were big. And even in custom games, like all the new things we got to play with, I'm just like, I was browsing through our old videos, like the Slenderman stuff, the remake that people made for Nazi zombies, the Minotaur maze, just smushing people. Like there was a lot of fun to be had. I think it's just the fact that they're just at the surface there was a lot to it, but there wasn't much I don't know, depth.
Yeah. I mean, people had a heyday with new things like gravity volumes and all that stuff, but it kind of petered out.
Ricochet was also really...
Well, Ricochet was... Yeah.
I would say that's probably the best thing, at least from a forging perspective, that came out of Halo 4, just because there was a lot of options you could do with that. At least, maybe not
the best
for...
game mode they added.
Yeah.
Just from like base, like core Ricochet. I mean, that's a great game mode.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Like Halo 4 was the best-selling Halo game of all of them. And so when it was first out, it was really, really, really big. Like there was tons and tons of people playing it, but you know, the bigger it gets, you're going to notice more and more people are going to stop playing, because a lot of these people just bought Halo 4 who weren't real, you know, they weren't really big Halo fans, but they just got it because there was this huge momentum behind it. It was Halo 4. I mean, the last time we saw a numbered Halo game was Halo Reach, or no, sorry, Halo 3.
Yeah.
I was thinking, but so then Halo 4 came out, and I feel like a lot of people who didn't really play Halo, like I know tons of my friends who never ever play Halo, all bought Halo 4, and I was playing with them for a bit, and then they stopped playing within like a week or two, right? And I feel like just a lot of people who were like that dropped off. And then, of course, you had the people who do play Halo who eventually dropped off. Like, I stopped playing Halo, I think. Well, I still played Halo, but I didn't play it as much as I played every other Halo game after about 7 or 8 months into it. And it was just, Yeah,
it just kind of dwindled away.
Which was a shame, but...
Yeah, like I actually, like I said, I don't have an Xbox One, but my roommates and I have been playing the shit out of Halo 3 for like a long time, and just going back and playing that old game, like I don't get tired of it. Whereas Halo 4, it did kind of run out of steam.
Yeah.
Which is, it's, you know, it happens. Hopefully, though, this time around, it seems like that's not going to happen. Although, looking at the numbers so far, the pre-order numbers, at least in the United States, it doesn't have the highest amount of pre-orders. The Master Chief Collection doesn't. Like, it's got, I think when we last checked, it was at like 250,000.
Yeah.
Which is not that high, but I think it's because, again, that's only in the States, but I think it's because a lot of people do need to bump up to an Xbox One to get it, and a lot of kids obviously can't afford Xbox One. So I think what we're going to see is something different here. I think we're going to see a big climb as we go forward with this game rather than a decline, especially once we hit Christmas. I feel like a lot of people are going to be getting Xbox Ones for Christmas, and therefore the Master Chief Collection, and then we'll see kind of it going up rather than down like with Halo 4.
Yeah. Well, there should be a big jump there. And then, I mean, right after Christmas is the Halo 5 beta.
Exactly. Yep.
And you also have to remember Black Friday is coming.
Oh, yeah. Good point, too.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff. Yeah. So it's, but even if, you know, you don't need to have a strong, like, passionate community, you don't necessarily need the highest amount of people in it. You need the people that really care.
Yeah, exactly.
And are really invested in the game and in the community and whatnot. And I think those people are, coming back and really interested in this game because it really is fan service to that audience.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess moving into sort of the discussion of Master Chief Collection, how do you guys see what's your anticipation of sort of the makeup of the community going into this next one? Because I see a lot of people on the forums, on Reddit or wherever, it's a lot of people who said, I haven't touched a Halo game since back in the day. So it seems to be a lot of sort of the old people coming back for nostalgia. And a lot of the people actually who used to play old stuff like Fat Kids. So I'm trying to think like in terms of the minigame scene, we're going to see a lot of people who are used to these old games. So I'm kind of excited to introduce them to just how much
things have changed.
Custom games and minigames have changed since then. We've gotten a lot more complex.
Yeah, for sure.
And I hope we're able to like provide a new menu of staple minigames that people can get to know and love.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of these people who are coming back haven't seen anything since Fat Kid in Halo 3, so it's
I know.
It's crazy how much it's grown since then, and they just don't know about it, right? So I think it'll be good to hit the ground running with a lot of these big games, these big mini games and stuff, and let people who are on the game at launch see what's happened to the forging community and stuff, and how the game's developed.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think by proxy of like Halo 4's lack of ongoing success, over its lifespan, a lot of the community kind of splintered a little bit, and some of there's kind of some like wounds that need to be healed in the community. I mean, there's a lot of just groups that have kind of separated. I know in the competitive community, there's been some
Halo Council and stuff.
Well, Halo Council's gone, but there's been some, I don't know, because anytime you have this community that people are really invested in, like politics develop, and then that just causes all kinds of problems.
But that's honestly, that's kind of what I like about Halo. That's one of the things I like. Not the politics and stuff, but I like the fact that it's one of the only games that has so many different communities within it. Like you've got the competitive players who are going to events and stuff. Then you've got the forgers who are making maps, and then you've got people who are just into playing custom games who don't actually forge. Then you have the people who just play casually. Then you have the machinima community. Then you have the people who take screenshots and stuff. Like there's so many different communities within Halo. Is just, in my opinion, what makes it so diverse and such a great game when you compare it to other games that are like Call of Duty, where it's just like a one group,
a bit of a monolith.
Yeah. And that's what keeps people playing.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So much going on that it's great.
Yeah, and that is really cool. But so hopefully, all of these different subgroups within the community will kind of come back and coexist.
Yeah.
Without too much bickering, because sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I think it'll be kind of something like a bunch of kids are in high school, they graduate, and now is going to be a reunion where we're going to have all these different groups coming back. So yeah, we'll see how it all melts together. But I'm hoping, and I think 343 kind of realizes this. I'm hoping there'll be some way to have all these communities interface. And I think, like you mentioned, Duck, with the UI, the ability to jump between everything, and then also the announcement of the Halo channel, being able to do spotlight videos to share, the highlights of each different community with one another. I think there'll be a high degree of mixing, and I hope that's something that the THFE channel itself can do, because in the span of what happened in Halo 4, when you're talking about the splintering of all the other groups, there's a lot of other groups that also died out.
Right.
And now it's like kind of, where is it all going to rally around? And I think on the YouTube front, I think we're basically the only ones left. I mean, Duquesne is still kind of there. And then
Halo
Team
followers.
Halo. Oh, yeah. And then there's Team Epiphany, but they've gone off and they've done all sorts of. They're just mostly like a podcast with games in the background. So they've gone off and done their own thing.
It's like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I guess, but we're
we don't make videos about it though.
Yeah.
For a while, I started to play other games on my channel, but I kind of stopped doing that. I'm all just Halo now, and I'm seeing a bit of a it's growing again, which is nice to see. And,
I mean, it was to stick with Halo exclusively throughout Halo 4 was difficult, and that, I mean,
certainly a challenge.
Yeah, but yeah, as far as a rallying point, I mean, there's lots of other great groups of YouTubers doing Forge stuff out there.
Yeah,
and I wish them all the best of luck with coming back. But hopefully, the fact that we were able to stick it out will work to the benefit of us and the entire group of people like kind of attached to the THFE community.
Yeah. And I think our little subgroup here and the community itself has matured to a certain degree.
Yeah, that's also another thing to think about. Like, a lot of the people who were, I guess this isn't that relevant, but a lot of people who were playing Halo 3 back in the day, and they were playing all these mini games and things like Fat Kid, of course, where at that time they were probably younger, and they were making these games and playing Fat Kid and whatever. And now that was like 7 years ago. So a lot of these people who were squeakers back in Halo 3 are now adults, or at least close to. So it'll be funny to see how it's changed, and if people are going to be still actively making maps in Halo 3, and if we'll see Halo 3 minigames. I don't know if there's a need for it now, but of course there's always going to be that people are going to want that nostalgic value to play some of those older stuff in Halo 3. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
There's a little thing though with Halo 3 though. The thing is though, Halo 3 is being shipped just the way it was back then. So the thing I'm worried about with Halo 3 and coming back to it is that they're not updating the Forge. So, who's going to want to go back to Forge in Halo 3 when you have
exactly.
Halo 2 Anniversary or even Halo 4 to Forge in? That's the problem.
Oh, I might make a Halo 3 map or two. I think.
Yeah, I mean, for the nostalgia factor, I might make some of my old maps, like Oakley. I might make some more Judgment maps just because I made, I don't even know how many of those I put.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot we worked together on those.
Yep, that was 8 years ago. Yeah.
No, it wasn't 8 years ago.
Yeah, I guess Halo 3. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was 13 and I'm 21 now, so yeah, actually pretty close.
We were fucking like 13, 14 back then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's crazy to think.
Right.
Dude, I still remember just like the days of Forge Hub and like how alive that felt and working together with everyone. I remember when we started doing the Judgment maps, I think you had posted like, can anyone fucking come up with an idea how to make like a working random weapon box? And I saw that and I was kind of like a lurker and I worked on it on the side, and then I just like private messaged you. I'm like, hey, I have a secret. Like fucking two 13-year-olds whispering to each other. And then that's kind of what that site was all about, is like people just bring together their ideas and made some pretty cool improvements out of what, looking back now, is a super restrictive Forge palette. So you take all those people, you take the experience over the year, and you give them what we've seen is being offered with Halo 2, and I think we're going to see some cool stuff.
Right.
Definitely.
I love
it. It really is nice though.
Yeah. Oh, I did too. I really did.
Back in the day, it was a really, really, really fun website. I was on there so much. Like I remember sitting.
You were the staff.
Yeah,
right?
well, before I got staff, getting staff was actually really funny. It was a whole big thing. But I remember sitting in class and basically just posting on, going through every single map and writing comments on it, and just it was just such a good time. And I have very, very fond memories of Forge Hub, and up until when it when there was people stopped going to the website and stuff. But like back in the heyday of it, it was really, really good. I really liked Forge Hub a lot.
I was always so jealous of the custom game nights because I could never fucking get into those.
Yeah, those were good. The what were they called again? TGIF.
TGIF.
Yeah.
So I was so happy when I saw you guys start to kick that off on the channel. I'm like, oh yeah, these guys.
Right. Yeah, that was really. I think Snake really kicked ass in getting that idea rolling.
Yeah, I had the original idea to start doing like throwback weekends and stuff, and then Snake, like after I did the first initial weekend, Snake said, I want to get a little bit more involved. I want to push it a little bit farther. So since I initiated, he's really taken a step forward to really extend it outward. And now that we have all the first 4 Halo games coming together like that, and so many possibilities to host customs, that we're definitely going to kick things off. We're definitely going to try to branch out to incorporate not necessarily we don't even have to necessarily do specific like games for like, oh, Halo 1 lobbies, Halo 2 lobbies, because you can switch in between.
Yeah, you can do
with a party like coming along with you. So we could just have like, all the mini games in 2, 3, and 4, all the infection maps in 2, 3, and 4. We could do stuff like that at this point. So they're really going to see some nice stuff with the custom games in the future.
Yeah. And for the record, Snake is not with us tonight. Just he's switching internet service providers. He'll be back in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Ooh, that'd be a tough week not having internet.
I know,
yeah,
I know, right? Yeah, well, I'm sure he wasn't happy about it either. But yeah,
poor guy.
Yeah,
hope he makes it out alive.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, the whole like community customs nights were something that we had talked about. I mean, forever ago. Like I remember Oakley, we talked about that. I don't know, I think years ago. Like
I remember talking about it. So like,
yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, my voice right now is terrible. But
yeah,
it's really bad. But yeah, just talking about that, and I could never think of like a really good format to use to.
Oh yeah, we went to great lengths. We created 10 profiles.
Right.
Silver profiles, THFE customs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Had to accept invites for all of those, and then you would view friends of the custom profiles and invite people from that, and yeah.
Speaking of that, actually, with the Xbox One now, there's a fantastic little thing that they upgraded, which is your friends list. So now it's a little bit different now, but essentially you can have like 10,000 friends, but not like
followers.
Yeah, followers. So they can join you if you have your game open. So like people can follow you, and then the moment your game goes open, you can do that. So you don't need to make a bunch of friends lists like that, right? You can just have one account with a bunch of followers.
Yeah.
Okay, I think going into MCC and Halo 5, then we're gonna have to definitely streamline the custom game process then.
Right.
And just have the regular announcement of those big lobbies. Make sure people know how they can join our lobbies, and then probably work with Halo Custom website to just
for sure,
have everything laid out.
The system at Halo Customs is honestly definitely the best thing.
Yeah.
For
and it's going to get better.
Right.
Insane and I are working on a new reputation system for hosts and stuff that should
sweet
nicely for that.
Yeah, Duck and I are actually both admins on Halo Customs at this point now. Plus the rest of the staff are also, definitely experienced members in the community who, have been playing Halo for a while now. And, they all understand, what needs to move forward as we, transition into the new game. So you definitely, that site's going to be a big tool that we could use, at least for the channel, to get the custom games together. Because the lobby system over there, even as it is now, is great. But it's just going to get better.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
It's definitely something to look forward to. But yeah, one of the things actually we may have to concern with moving forward is the fact that right now we host the customs on a monthly basis, which is great and all, and we also have the recap that goes up the week after. But one thing definitely, at least for you guys, for the viewers, we're gonna try to work on, at least with the customs, is one, and probably the most important thing for me, we're gonna try to get hosts that obviously represent the time zones a little bit better, because we have been getting complaints, the customs go on too early, the customs go on too late, we can't join, even though we have like 4 or 5 hosts. So one thing we're definitely going to try to do is, we might see some old faces come back, some old respected hosts, like even for back in the Forge Hub Friday lobbies, who may be willing to host. And I was actually talking to, I don't know if any of you guys remember Spades and AZ. He used to host in Reach. He used to host those giant lobbies. He said if he got an Xbox One, he would be ready to host, instantly. And there's a lot of old guys coming back, and even some new faces who have, made a name for themselves in the Halo 4 community, who, now have become respected hosts. So we're definitely going to, try to branch out, get more hosts together. Of course, still keeping it in the same, 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But definitely trying to represent the better time zones.
Yeah.
Then the other thing probably that we should have done and didn't really work towards, we'll try to let you guys know about the lobbies sooner than the day before. I mean, that was the one part that really wasn't that organized. And because of that, it was a little bit, we kind of gave the hosts a little bit shorter notice than they necessarily needed to. And because of that, we had some conflicts with lobby times and stuff like that. So we'll definitely try to be more on the ball with that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that was all really exemplified in the most recent.
Yes. Which we noticed you guys don't like Halo 4 as much as the other Halos, so okay, we understand.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the whole hosting the customs, I think that whole thing will evolve. A lot of what we've done in Halo 4, especially like the last year, from everything from bringing in this whole new team of guys, Paints and Snake and Master Debaytes. A lot of it's just been, testing the waters and just seeing what works and what doesn't. And, with like bringing in these new guys, bringing them in a relatively low stakes environment and letting, oh my gosh, my voice. Jeez.
I could hear it giving out slowly there. Yeah,
wow. But, so it's going to be the real deal here in another week. So, everything we've been doing has basically been leading up to this, this next week, this launch, and, and I mean, the next year of Master Chief Collection stuff. But it's been, I think there's a lot of stuff like that that's just things that might not have gone super smoothly, in the past, but it was necessary so that we'll be prepared
to hit the ground running.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So it'll be. I think the whole launch of the Master Chief Collection is just gonna be so huge that it's. I think everyone's gonna have a lot of fun with it, like right off the bat, and having these custom lobbies and stuff is really gonna be really cool at the beginning, because you're gonna be seeing a lot of new content presumably with it, not just in terms of it being a new game, but like people are obviously going to be forging right off the bat, and if you're having a custom lobby, you're gonna want to play some of those maps. So I think people who are going to be in those lobbies are going to get to see a lot of maps firsthand and stuff, which will be a really cool experience for them to try out.
Yeah. At first, we're definitely going to see a lot of remakes, of course, because people aren't going to like just think of new ideas right away. They're going to take their time and get used to the new, the new Forge and how everything works, especially with the new additions like the scripting and all that good stuff. I know personally, I'm definitely going to like day one go into Forge, learn how to script everything. Maybe post a couple of Forge tutorials for you guys, so you guys get the big picture yourselves. Do a little stuff like that. But yeah, another thing. Like, even see if it's going to be easier to remake some of the older things with like the new, the new options that we have. Like, I definitely think we're going to see a lot of consolidation, at least in that respect. Especially if you have a bunch of the older guys coming in saying, "Oh, I made a map like this and I'm remaking it so you guys can see like how awesome it was." You're going to see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
I'm probably going to do that myself.
Oakley, while we have you here, I've been thinking about given like the potential to create our own natural terrain and stuff. I've been thinking about remaking Bunker Hill.
Oh shit! I actually thought of that the other night.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that. I was like, that map is just begging for some kind of dynamic element, some kind of switch that does something.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that main gateway we had before under the turret was just screaming for a gate.
Yeah, I mean, we could have a gate, or we could. I think the gate might become too.
Okay.
But yeah, just like all these maps that relied on natural terrain that, like on Forge World's terrain or whatever that we couldn't recreate in Halo 4. Now we can, and, we can play these games, like all these maps from Reach, we can play them with the VR that we always wanted on those,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many old maps, and I think it was Debaytes who made that point, how there's going to be all the old forgers who basically had their concepts that were made, maybe when they're 13, and now you can come back with a whole new, chest of tools. I think I in particular have a lot of ideas for old stuff that I want to definitely go back and remake that I wasn't even able to do in Halo 4 because of how restricted it was. I think like day one in Halo 4, I was like, all right, I'm going to remake my Halo Reach 5 levels of terror. And I sat down and started to build it. And then you had all sorts of glitches and I ran out of money and I couldn't even build past 3 levels. So I just
and there was
gave up.
The teleporter spawning in, that glitch with the objects not spawning in if players are too close proximity to them. Yeah,
the glitch with one initial flood and one life, you kill him, it doesn't end the game.
Yeah.
That's still a problem.
Weapons not on map, weapons dropping.
Hopefully, we don't have to deal with any of that with this new Forge.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've learned from it, and they heard our outcry with some of the stuff. So
it's very clear that they did.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just looking at like the Forge reveal was like, you know, he might as well have just gone off like the big Forge wish list for Halo 5 or whatever. I forget exactly what it was called. That Pete the Duck compiled with help from.
I made a video like that too. I was talking about all the Forge features, and in the video I was like, if you watch this video and you agree with even just one of my ideas, make sure you tweet it at all of these people, and I listed a bunch of employees there.
But I mean, that reveal, they might as well have just taken that list and just been like, oh well, yeah, you can do this now.
Yeah,
you can do that.
It's absolutely crazy.
Scripting.
Yeah, we can throw that in. You guys don't have to mod anymore. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the ability to sculpt terrain. Well, maybe it's not sculpting now, but compared to what we have had in the past, you can do it a lot more.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wasn't expecting that. Even in Halo 5, I was like, maybe they'll give us like one hill.
Yeah.
Because that was the fucking sluggish pace we'd seen with Forge, was like, you know, slowly implement little things. And this is a big leap.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely going to change the way people forge maps. Like it's there's just so much, and like I've watched that Forge reveal several times now just to try to pick up on everything. And one of the big things that I noticed was even after showing that entire island complex that they showed, and he went into his Forge palette and then he went to train and stuff, he still had a ton of stuff there that he could use. Like in terms of trees, he had like 113 trees after everything he placed down. Like, that's insane. And then he still had tons and tons of giant chunks of terrain that he could put down. Like it's crazy how much you can do now. Especially
with the new hardware. I hope it can handle it.
There's the performance.
Oh no, it does have a performance.
And in the Forge reveal, in the performance meter, I mean the thing was green the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that was a big concern I had back in Halo Reach. I mean, Halo Reach, we had Forge World, and it was pretty sick. But I remember trying to enter into a contest for an infection map. And, like, basically I started out with the medium-sized map, half my budget, and it would go through these screen tests where the people at Bungie or whatever had to come in and, like, pan the screen, and if it stuttered, you had to remove more and more budget. And basically to make it work, it had to be, like, the smallest map you've ever seen. Just because the 360, I don't think could handle it. You couldn't handle it in split screen. So hopefully now with the new hardware, you know, we can do away with a lot of those constraints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really.
Well, remember the invasion maps for the, like, Oakley, you did Floodgate and stuff, and just optimizing those. For 2-player split screen. Oh my gosh, it was nightmare.
Yeah, you had to simplify so much stuff in between phases, have half the map disappear, or unnecessary elements and stuff like that. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really forge much in Reach. I tried forging one map and then I gave up. That was that's kind of why I broke off the community and started playing Gears of War and stuff like that.
When I was prepping Temple for matchmaking and they kept coming back to me with things I had to change and stuff, I was getting so frustrated. So then there was another thing when they wanted to put my volleyball map into Action Stack, I think. I just said no. If you want it in there, you guys can make the changes. I'm not going through that again. That was.
Oh yes, I remember that actually. I was there. I was in that lobby where they're like, oh, he needs to make this change and this change and this change, and I'm like, is he going to do it?
No. I wasn't going back to fix that and go through that again. It was too much.
Yeah, no one blames you.
Right.
Speaking of Action Sack, do you guys? I mean, this is kind of a wish that I've always wanted. Do you guys think they'll have a customs playlist?
I don't know.
It doesn't sound like it.
I feel like they would anyway, just because people like the Action Sack. Not necessarily the people who are in like the minigame forging community. They don't really prefer the Action Sack playlist just because no one wants to play Husky Raid.
Meta
like
raid.
the stuff that Meta Raid. The stuff that we play is more along like the Shogun map that I forged with the Omicron, or like one of like the modded stuff, like one of like Buddy's maps, like where you have to like keep running at a certain speed while avoiding the zombies, or like something like crazy and just complex as hell. Like we like to play that sort of stuff, or even Halo Tactics, the one that Deadlock Draco remade from Reach. We like the complex games like that. And in Action Sec, you don't really ever see that kind of stuff. You try to see stuff that is more like a competitive mini game that really doesn't take that much effort to actually construct. Like you saw things like Lightning Flag, which is just fast speed and a flag that you automatically grab and stuff like that. That really doesn't take a lot of effort to create, but it is out there. Something that definitely in future Action Shack playlists, if they decide to put that in, then you need to see more thought put into the games that go out there, like, for sure.
Also, you got to keep in mind with the fact that there's still a lot of playlists that people want to be put into the Master Chief Collection that aren't there yet. Like Team Doubles isn't there yet. There's no Infection playlist, so there's a
what?
Well, there will be. There can't
Living
be off
Dead
launch. There's no Infection maps to put in off launch, and there's no mini games to put in off launch.
Yeah,
but once people make those, that'll happen.
Yeah,
but you got to keep in mind.
We're gonna lock Paint up in the dungeon until he makes some.
Are they gonna have the cartographers? Do you think who are gonna have to start handpicking and filtering through all this stuff to get into a playlist?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a cartographer, so.
Oh my God, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Pete the Duck's a cartographer too, right?
So is Pete. Yeah.
Dude.
Well, but I mean, okay, and
sweet.
Try not to like. We typically try to downplay that a little bit, but.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just because the CCs, we select the maps, but we don't decide what goes in. It's like, we'll get a memo. Hey, bring us, 4v4 Action Sack maps, and we'll be like, okay, and then we'll see what we can find. But unfortunately, it's not like we can't be like, oh well, there's lots of great Infection maps right now. Can we get a playlist like that? But so it's not perfect,
but I mean, like right now, there's so much stuff to play with this game that I don't think it's really necessary that we like there's 100+ maps. There's no shortage of content in this game. You can. Also another thing with this is I think that the social aspect of this game is coming back to, like, do you have any memories of sitting on a couch with one of your friends playing Halo 4 split screen? I don't think anybody does. So like,
I was in a dorm room, so I have a little bit of that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, a lot of these people who are going to be coming back are used to playing Halo 1 or Halo 2 with their friends at multiplayer at split screen, at their house on the CRTVs and stuff. So I think a lot of these people coming back are just going to be excited to be playing some of these maps again. Like, they don't necessarily need to be Forge maps, and they're going to be excited enough with that fact that they're playing, old stuff that they haven't played in years with their friends. So
yeah, some of them might also be excited for the new stuff, because a lot of the Halo 2 players were on console, but you're starting to see stuff like all the PC maps getting remade and coming back in, that people haven't even touched before. So coming back to something that you love so much at a younger age with new content thrown in, it's
huge. Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah, it's a big deal, right? And honestly, we're getting all of the maps, PC wise, like Halo 1 also. We're getting Halo 1 matchmaking with the PC maps on a console. Like, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. A lot of people are really excited for stuff like that coming back. So, we're definitely going to see a lot of activity, like, all around, even in all the Halos.
Do you think it might get splintered though? Just like how in I think Halo Reach, they had a bunch of different playlists, and it kind of got too segregated.
Yeah, well, and that happened even more with Halo 4.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and that's something to think about. But at the same time, the ease with which you can switch between the different games within the Master Chief Collection, I think, hopefully that'll lessen that. And then just having really strong communities with things like Halo Customs and THFE and other channels and sites and whatnot. That bring people together. I think that there'll be a little bit of that splintering, but hopefully not to the same extent.
Yeah.
So I guess Time wise, I think we're going pretty far into this. Was there anything you guys wanted to tease in terms of like, right when you're hopping into Halo? I think we're all going to be forging. Is there anything you guys were, wanted to tease in terms of what you were going to work on?
I'm going to do what I always do, which was my most downloaded map in Halo 4. I think I'm going to do that the very first night. I won't say what it is, but you can look it up.
I don't actually know what it was.
It's the second most downloaded map of all time in Halo 4 right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
What? Yep. I have, not to brag or anything, but I have 5 of the 10 top downloaded.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. Or like 4 of the 10 or something. It's insane.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, aren't you special?
0 of the 10.
And I can tell you, 0 thought went into all 4 of them.
Well, yeah, that's not surprising with this sort of reputation.
Simple is usually better in terms of popularity, right?
Yeah.
For sure. But do you guys got anything that you want to tease?
Yeah, I will definitely, like I was talking about earlier in the podcast, I will definitely be remaking some of the Judgment maps. Not necessarily exact, but just the game type itself and the style of map with zombies coming through the windows, humans staying inside. I'm going to try to make a random box with or without Oakley's help. And also the other big thing is, you guys may remember I made 2 boss battle games in Halo 4, the Meta Ridley remake and, the giant robot, the Shogun that I forged the Omicron. I'm definitely going to be making more boss battles.
That'll be awesome.
Especially brought the Hornet back. I'm making a flying boss for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that'll be cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I'm going to start with, I'm going to be focused a lot on trying to get tutorials and whatnot out to people, but I'm going to remake Panic Attack at some point, certainly. I think that
you better.
Deserves the Halo 2 sandbox. I'm also really excited to think about remaking Bunker Hill with Oakley. And then other things, I've been meaning to do a, Let's Forge series, but more of a Let's Design series where I kind of go through the thought process for designing a core map, and so I'll be thinking about that right after launch as well.
Yeah.
Start a bunch of Let's Forges and not finish them like normal too. So.
Yeah, I gotta finish this one. This one will be more constructed. But yeah.
Okay. And I guess, my timeline is a little bit different than you guys because I'm just kind of out of the loop for Halo. So I don't quite have the pressure on me or the hype on me to get it midnight, whatever, and start forging. So I'll go at it at my own pace. But I am starting to draw up a bunch of ideas. So I think I'm going to hit Infection first, definitely for sure. And try and do the, what I'd done in Halo Reach, I think, where I had a bunch of the ZM_ whatever map. Just make a bunch of themed Infection specific maps, then maybe try and do some progression type stuff like 5 levels of terror. There's a lot of stuff I want to do with that. And then even the Bunker Hill type of map. I was thinking of making a map like that, but for Infection, where you have to hold up the top of the hill and then there's all sorts of different ways in, and then combine that with sort of the Halo Reach Raptors map Tom Lids and I had made, where there's a center structure and you can also wheel around with warthogs and vehicles. So a lot of cool stuff like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very cool. It'll be exciting stuff. And then Paints will probably be working on, he might bring Last Stand to Halo 2 Anniversary or something. I'm sure he'll be doing some really cool Infection stuff as well. So, there's a lot to be excited for, I think.
I think we're going to have more Infection people than not, right?
I know.
Because we have the standard Infection Oracle. We don't have Flood. I might even get Snake to attempt to forge, because Snake has yet to. So we'll see if we can break him in. We'll see.
We're going to make him forge. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to try.
Infection maps too, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be cool. Well, all right, guys. I think we've gone on long enough. Mm-hmm. So thanks for joining me. And I don't know. I'm excited. Sorry. I'm excited, and I think my voice is about to go out. So, if you guys want to add anything.
See you guys later.
Yep. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you all in Master Chief Collection then.